What is up, everybody? Today we're going to be going over the changelogs for Payload Shore Leave Alpha 7 and Alpha 8. So I skipped a version of doing the video changelogs because I released Alpha 7. I did a ton of big changes to it. I tested it and realized I didn't do quite enough big changes and I missed some things that were really important. So I didn't want to waste the time of doing another quick test, just spending the time doing the changelog when I could just crank out the next version. So we can test this version out, and it's going to give me a lot more information than the stuff that I was already going to know needed to be done anyway. So the biggest and most important thing I did was I completely deleted everything past the third capture point and remade the final area from scratch. This is sort of the scorched earth method of mapping, and sometimes you just have to make these hard decisions and axe a whole bunch of work. It sucks to have to waste work, but it's really not wasting work if you learn something from it. So that's what I did. I just got rid of everything. I didn't like the previous last. It was too cramped. It was too confined. I didn't like how the spawn was right next to the tracks. That it had way too many issues. And with this new version, I am very happy with what it looks like and how it plays so far from the little bit of testing I've done already. As you can see, the payload track curves to the right just like it used to with the previous version, but this time it's going down a decline, sort of inspired a little bit from Badwater. I liked how it was in a big pit, but you can see pretty quick it churns and it goes back up with some rollback zones, and it diverges from Badwater really fast. It's really only that ramp that there's any influence taken from it. One of the issues I faced making this last is that I really wanted an open area right behind where the capture zone was. This is going to give me room to explode the thing that I'm going to explode with the cart firing for the finale. But I didn't want to do two disconnected buildings. I've never been a real big fan of spawn rooms that are disconnected like that, how like you can spawn in one area or you can spawn in the other and you don't really have much choice in the matter. So my compromise is I have this underground area here that you can go up and left or to the right, and then those are the buildings that you see up above, which I'm really happy with how these buildings look already. I don't normally do this kind of detailing, these roof shapes and things like that, in an alpha version of the map, but I was really amused with them. I thought it was looking cool. It was helping me be motivated to work on the map more, so I just kind of went to town on it. And some of these buildings are super cool. I really like this building with the bell tower thing. It's just really amusing to me, and I'm really excited to get to detail this, and we're getting really close to the beta stage here. I also put this fountain in just to kind of break up the lower area. It was way too open, and I didn't want to condense things down too much more, so I figured I'd just put some cover in here. I had the tank in place, and I was like, oh, you know, there could be something that's just low cover with a little bit of tall in the middle, and I was like, hey, a fountain slash statue sounds really cool for that. So this statue right now is temporary. Just a placeholder for something to throw in there. Eventually I'll probably get some custom work done from the frontline team, and we'll do something in there cool. If you remember in the previous version, when you captured the point, it would shoot off and kind of to the left front area. The cart would shoot and blow open a new route. Well, with how things were set up in the new version, I wanted the route on the right side, so I changed it so it's exploding on the right now, and there's this new little flank route with a drop down, and I built this drop down so red team defending couldn't push back out too easily. You know, soldiers can jump up here, demomen can jump up here, maybe a scout with some of the jumping abilities can get up here. But for the most part, red isn't going to be able to push back this way. And I think this creates a cool dynamic where blue has access to this area, but they have to really commit to the drop down. And they are rewarded with a medium health pack and a full ammo. I kind of see some like sneaky teleporters getting put over here, and I think that would be really super cool. But you can see it comes around the corner here, and there's these arches, which is right behind the fountain. And further down, there is the stairs that go up behind the tank. And this is really deep penetration into the final area. They're going to be pretty exposed. There's kind of a sniper area up on the top over here that can sort of look down there. Has a lot of cover. They do have this fence that should give them a little bit of cover from the rest of the team, like red in the courtyard itself. But I think it'll be cool. This will be a good like spy route. It'll be good for some sneaky classes, and just even to get like a heavy medic up here all the way, and that's going to really help blue team push into this last. So I'm really excited about this last, and I'm going to stop rambling about it because there's a lot of little subtleties to this last that I just want you guys to find yourself. And you know, who knows, things might not work out exactly how I'm thinking they're going to work out, but either way, it's going to be 1,000 times better than the previous last. So I'm already happy with it, and of course, you know, more changes can be made in the future. The next big change that I made was I actually removed the previous first red spawn. If you remember, like right behind the second capture zone, there was this red spawn. They had the upper ground. They had a lower route too, but I felt like they were too close to the cart track, and it wasn't a fun place to fight too much. You know, I felt like they were always coming around these corners. They had to sort of do it blind, and it wasn't as much fun as it could have been. So I completely deleted it, and I actually made this new flank route that goes through and connects over to the warehouse. I'm a little worried that it's a bit convoluted. There's a lot of ramps, and there's a lot of like what will be staircases in the future. A lot of height changes, but it could turn out to be really cool. So, you know, we'll give it a test. If it doesn't work, I can always change it, as always. But I think this is going to make second a little bit easier to capture for blue, which has been a huge problem in the entire development of this map. It's something that I'm still struggling with, and hopefully pushing red back a little bit further will help fix that. So moving on, this is red's new spawn room, which you can see it's the back area of the warehouse. And they can come out either on the lower door or the upper door. The upper door connects them right to that back area of the warehouse that used to exist. And with that, they can go straight through the warehouse, or they can go through that new flank route that I just created, which should provide them with some pretty good options. They won't be stuck in any one area. It shouldn't be too easy to spam this out. And honestly, if blue has managed to push them all the way back here, they probably deserve to capture the point at that rate. The other exit is down below, and that actually dumps out into the garage area, which I thought was a really interesting way to connect things. Now they have access to this lower route, which it might be a little bit too long, it might be too big. I can always scale things down a little bit. It's going to be a bit of a pain, given everything that's above the area too. But even just adding some cover down here might help. So that's another change I'm going to keep in mind for the future. And then it also connects to the upper area, and there's a doorway that connects to that new flank route as well. And everything kind of just connects. It's like a lot of figure 8 shapes. A lot of places that I can kind of see people getting lost in a little bit, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. But I can also see it provides a lot of opportunities for like pyros, for flanking. It's going to give spies areas to trick stab off of, and it's going to give places for people to run into and kind of lose the other person. Or it's going to give people who run in there a chance to flank around, head the person off that they're fighting, and, you know, surprise them from a different angle that they didn't expect. And once you learn this area really well, I think you'll be able to use that to your advantage. So that's about it for the big geometry changes. I also adjusted the spawn wave timers for each control point. I helped second out a little bit. I made blue spawn a lot faster than red. They're kind of both far away from the point, especially when blue pushes all the way in. And I wanted to give blue that much more of an advantage on top of red spawning further away now. So hopefully second is going to be a lot less of a pain and just more fun to fight on. The other big thing I did is I extensively optimized the file size. If you guys downloaded the first version of this, Alpha 6, when I changed it to shore leave, it was a 400 megabyte map file before it got repacked and compressed. I got it down to 290 megabytes, which is still a really huge map. But with all the custom content and all the skins and everything like that, you know, it adds up really fast. And I optimized this file size by removing a lot of the skins from the file, from all the custom content that I wasn't using. I wasn't confident about doing it for the first version. I didn't want to risk it for the first like big frontline release. But since then, I found that it works, and it saved us a ton of file space. It's down to 78 megabytes after repacking it, so that's a really acceptable number to me. Once the lighting gets worked on and once more custom content gets put in, it's probably going to get a little fatter. But we are working currently on optimizing the frontline pack. They are doing a ton of work to fix some of the skin sizes and just optimizing file size in general, and that should be out pretty soon. I know they're really hard at work on it. Next, I fixed some exploits and clipping around the map. There's a whole bunch of little bug fixes all over the place. Not really worth mentioning every little thing. I did some signage. I did some, you know, just little bugs that people pointed out on my thread on TF2 Maps, and just a bunch of little things like that. And then finally, I added a no build trigger to the mines area because screw you, Musulk, you son of a bitch. So anyway, if you'd like to play this map and you want to play with me and maybe some of the other frontline guys, as soon as this video goes live, I am going to be on my server. The IP will be in the description below, and you can come test it with me. Come play it. Come see how well these changes work. See what doesn't work with me. I need to test, so come test with me.
Stay with the car. We have been awarded additional time. All right, pull up you. It's conga time. Go. It's conga time. It's conga time. Come on. It's conga time. Look at me. There. Look at me go. Headshot me.
He has been awarded additional time.
It's conga time. Look at me. Headshot conga. All right, yo. Wait there. Look at me go. Go.